Thank you. Good afternoon. Screening for hydroxychlorlquine retinopathy is done using the visual field test 10-2 and the OCT scan of the macula. Interpretation of these tests can be subjective and can lead to interpersonal variations. We therefore aim to produce an objective way by which we can diagnose, monitor, and predict hydroxychlorlquine retinopathy. We know that the outer nuclear layer loss is one of the early signs of hydroxychlorlquine toxicity. We produced a map of the outer nuclear layer. So the one you see on the left-hand side is for somebody who has never been on hydroxychlorlquine. The hot colors, red and yellow, indicate normal thickness, while the picture on the right-hand side is of somebody who has been on the drug for more than 12 years, and they have an end-stage toxicity. And here you can see the colors are gone into the cool scale of the color, blue and gray. The challenge comes when the toxicity is intermediate, so using a color-coded map only might not be very accurate. So we produced a volume map for the outer nuclear layer per each of the 8 ETDRS sectors. By comparing these numbers, you can see that the reduction becomes more obvious, even if the toxicity is moderate. We scanned 118 eyes of patients, of subjects who have never been on hydroxychlorlquine. We plotted the data to determine the distribution, and then we set a cutoff point that allows 95% of the normals to be within normal. So the cutoff is below 5%. We then superimposed the 10-2 pattern deviation numbers on top of the ETDRS surface of the OCT, and we designed an Excel formula that enabled us to calculate the mean deviation per each of the 8 ETDRS sectors. Then we inverted the sectors so that nasal becomes temporal, superior is inferior. Now you have sectors that are corresponding to the actual retinal areas. We programmed our spreadsheet to highlight any eyes or any sectors that are below our cutoff point. So we used the mean deviation cutoff point as our test positive or true positive, and the outer nuclear layer loss as the test positive. From there, we were able to calculate a sensitivity of 83.3% and the specificity of 90.5%. We used the Hosmer and Leemshaw test to see how good of a predictive model is this, and we are aiming at a high p-value, and we got a p-value of 1, which is highly significant for this test. The accuracy of prediction is 97.7%, which says the mean deviation reduction is highly consistent with our cutoff point for the outer nuclear layer loss. The prediction, retinal quadrants that are highly predictive of loss are the superior quadrants, the nasal, and the inferior outer quadrants. What we are giving here is a way to revolutionize the screening of hydroxychlorlquine retinopathy. This will allow clinics to be running on an autonomous fashion. Logistic regression is one of the methods of machine learning. By implementing this method, we make our calculations even more accurate as we enter more data. We are in the process of designing a computer application that will allow ophthalmologists to utilize our data to perform screening in their clinics. Thank you very much.
Any questions? Okay. Can I just ask, what percentage of your patients did you think had hydroxychloroquine? What percentage of your patients did you think had hydroxychloroquine retinopathy?
Thank you for asking that. I was waiting for the question. The definition of toxicity for the purpose of this study is development of a visual field defect. We looked at patients who have been on hydroxychloroquine for 5 years or more, and the percentage was 15%. We had 143 eyes, 15% of which were below our cutoff point.
That's quite high. That's quite a high number.
It is, as I said, it depends on the definition of toxicity. So we're looking at something well established.
Did you validate your results? Did you compare them to the standard national guidelines, college guidelines, to see if it correlated with the college's definitions of
the college's definition does not include a mean deviation cutoff or outer nuclear layer cutoff. The college defines toxicity as having abnormal results of 2 screening tests.
Yeah.
Those 15% fulfill this criteria. Their mean deviation is below the cutoff point. Their outer nuclear layer volume is below the cutoff point. So we are in line with the college guidelines. We just made it more objective.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll move on to